Hello, everybody. How's it going? How's it going out there? Yeah, just make me this nice little video here. Um, Definitely be sure to before I even get into the video, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit that notification bell. Uh, and leave any comments, whatever, whether you disagree with me or not. Conversation is always nice. We can always have the nice conversation. So this morning, uh, kind of want to give you my thoughts and opinions on Tyler Perry. I know my fiance ain't gonna I don't like this video too much, but we just saw a Fall from Grace a few days ago. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too turned on by the trailer, but I was like, you know what, I'll give it a watch, see what I think about it. Um, and I just kind of want to get into a lot of things here in this video. Uh, so, and it's just like a lot of stuff. Now, I don't want this to seem like it's a video where I'm dissing Tyler Perry at all. It's not the intention for this video. I think the guy is really uh, is rich. He has a lot of money. He's employing black actors and actresses, especially ones that you don't normally see in movies where they wouldn't get a job otherwise. You know, like actors like Felicia Rashad or somebody like that from the Cosby Show. Where else are they going to get you know any other opportunity to be in a movie other than a Tyler Perry film? So, big props for that. I respect this guy um, as a businessman. Um, Probably is a really nice person too if you meet him in real life. He is what a lot of black entrepreneurs should aspire to be. Especially me, I want to be a black entrepreneur someday myself. Um, I love writing. I get into I'm an English major, at Ohio State, so like I really get into writing, and I want to actually do something with that. I'm actually working on a few books myself right now. So my thing with so there's a lot of really good praise about this guy. I mean, he owns like one of the biggest movie studios in Hollywood. Todd Perry Studios. If you guys have actually seen it, it is huge. Like that place is big. Um, so he even you know he even boasts that it's bigger than like it rivals Disney Studios, it rivals Fox Studios, all these big studios in Hollywood. So, um, which brings me to I hate to compliment and chastise at the same time, but it's like um, there's no quality in his movies, and that's kind of what I want to kind of get to because to be honest, I don't think I've ever really liked a Tyler Perry movie. I mean, if I did like one, there's probably a couple of them that I did like. Um, because I just noticed a formula with his movies, and that's like it's like it's like you have it's like you have a template for a movie, um, and you basically keep writing that same template over and over again, but uh, you kind of switch it up a little bit. Like maybe these are different characters, or this is like the um, different location or different setting. Um, but when you look at a Tyler Perry movie, it's kind of it's a lot of it is the same. Um, black man does a black woman wrong, and then uh, and then she has to she basically has to find find a way out of her situation, and it's pretty much the same for a lot of movies that he does. I mean, um, it's like Acrimony in some ways was kind of the same as this movie. I just picked up a lot of things up on it. I don't want to get too deep into the movie because I want to actually review it with my fiance, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But I just want to just kind of look at why I feel like it's frustrating a little bit to watch a Tyler Perry movie and just go like, man, you didn't even try. Um, it's just like I said, it's sort of the same formula. Um, sometimes sometimes there's no subtlety in his films. Um, I like I have an issue with his subtlety. And what I mean by subtlety is there was, if I can remember, there was a scene in Acrimony where um, I think it was around the beginning of the movie where the girl rams the car into the side. And actually, if you want to go check out on a channel, me and my fiance, we did review Acrimony. But so there's a scene in the movie where he rams the side of the or well, I guess the girl finds out that her dude is cheating on her or something like that. So she rams the side of the trailer, and okay, so here's the follow on this. So she hits the side of the trailer so hard that the steering wheel somehow crushed her stomach where she was having a baby, and I'm just like, I'm like, what? Like, how does that even like? Because the way a steering wheel is positioned in a car, that's impossible. But in a Tyler Perry movie, I guess anything is possible, right? It's just it's stuff like that where it's just like, how do you not think about this stuff before you write it? Like, I don't understand it. And it's just a lot of that in his movies where you're just like what? That doesn't even make sense. Um, it's and I've gotten into a lot of debates with people over it, and it's not to say I hate Tyler Perry. I don't. It's just I have no desire to see his movies half the time because I know how they're going to be. Um, I know the next movie he makes, he's going to put little to no effort into it because of his fan base. His fan base will watch whatever he puts out, and I know I'm not a part of his fan base, but I'm a fan of movies. I just want to see. That's all. I look at it as like I want to see a good movie. Um, and if I have zero confidence in your movie, I'm probably not going to watch it. Um, and that's the case with this guy because it's like I saw the I just saw the trailer and he was hitting all the beats that he's been hit for like the past 20 years. Like I'm just like I don't really see a growth. I don't see a difference. Um, I don't see this guy taking any risk, uh, creatively or financially. I just don't think the guy's creative. I mean, I think it's fair for me to say that after 20 years of watching Tyler Perry, it's just like you're not creative. Um, he brags about there's a video out there on YouTube where he's bragging about how many scripts he's put out. Like he's like last year I wrote like 19 scripts, and I'm like, well, when you're writing the same script over and over again, it's really not that hard to do. I can just take you know if I take my book, my cop story, Black Isis, and write it 100 different times with different characters and different themes, but it's the same concept. It's not very hard to write that. Um, I just choose not to write that. I choose to write different, and I think that's the issue I have with Tyler Perry, and I have nothing against him because there are some good black writers and directors out there. You have Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is a very amazing director, a very amazing writer. You have Ava DuVernay. She's really good. I still never watched her movie about the Central Park Five. It's something I gotta I gotta ease myself into because hearing about the story kind of made me a little upset. But yeah, like you just have really good directors out here, really good black directors. Jordan Peele, we just had we had Us, which I thought was it wasn't his best movie, but Us was pretty solid. But my favorite movie, of course, is Get Out. Get Out is a very well made film, and that's what I'm saying. It's like these are all black directors that put effort, who do something different. We've never saw a movie like Get Out. Get Out is so different. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's refreshing to see. Um, it's refreshing to see black directors like that take a totally different approach. Sorry to Bother You was done by a black director, and that movie was out there, but it was a really I thought it was a good movie. I love it. I love Sorry to Bother You. So like it's because that was a black director who took risk. He took a big risk. You know, I just like I don't understand like like this guy has a lot of money, but but creatively he is so bankrupt. Like I don't like. I'm sorry. This video is like I know I said I wasn't gonna like try to beat the guy up in this video, but it's just like the more I really think about and talk about in this video, it's frustrating. It's like man, like hire some writers, man. Hire some writers. I know he bragged and said, I don't have a writers table, um, which I think is ridiculous because like why don't you have a writers table when you clearly your work clearly needs editing, it needs something. Um, you're running around here bragging that you shot a film in 5 days. Like that's not something to brag about. Like if you really look at it, that's nothing to brag about. That you made an entire movie in 5 days, because I could tell. I was watching. It was like it shows some of the continuity errors are obvious, painstakingly obvious in your movies. Um, I'll again going back to um, Acrimony. How did Taraji P Henson end up on the boat at the end of the movie? And that's not even explained. Um, a scene in there where she reaches into her purse and pulls out a huge beaker of acid and pours it onto a dress. And I'm like, what is she doing with acid in her purse? Like, why can't you do something normal? Like, I don't know, throw some dye on her dress or something like that. That'll ruin it because it's hard because you can't get that stuff out. I don't understand. Like, it's just easy like writing errors like that. Like you just overlook it or just don't even think about it. Like this is ridiculous if I put in a movie, but then just puts it in there anyway. Like, oh well, my audience won't know it. Um, and I just feel like I don't think that's right to do stuff like that because you really. I know somebody said this in another video, but and I'm stealing their thunder a little bit off this, but I feel like when you do that, you just take your audience for granted because he feels like his audience is always going to buy anything he's selling, regardless. Um, when you could tell you tell Tyler Perry's barely putting any effort in his movies. There's a I hate to keep attacking Acrimony. There's a scene in there where there's clearly green screen when the two are walking through the park because when they're walking through the park, the background scene never changes. And you're like, wow, clear green screen. Um, Even one of his earlier movies, something like The Family That Prays or something like that. Like just movies like that. It's like this could be uh, such a better film if you just sat down and really took time to write this because you can tell he doesn't take time to write certain movies. I really feel like he rushes a lot of his movies. because again, continuity errors, uh, just ridiculous plot twists. Like this doesn't even make any sense. Um, that's my whole thing is hire some writers, man, uh, and then and the thing I don't understand is like a film a guy who owns a film studio has a lot of money who puts zero money into his movies. I don't understand that. You can clearly tell he doesn't put any money in his movies. uh the films look really cheap. I think like his last several movies have looked like he's put no money into them. um it's just like I understand you're trying to save money and you're trying to conserve money so you can make big so you can just keep building up on your wealth. I get it, but it's like, man, throw some money at your films. Like show that you actually care about making a movie. Why do you have to rush these films in 5 days, 2 weeks? Shot Acrimony in 2 weeks. Shot Boo 1 and 2 in a weekend. Like why? Um, because and why does he do it? It's production costs. It's to reduce production costs. Like for each day he shoots the movie, he's pouring more money into the movie. So he's like, well, if I shoot in lesser days, I can make more money that way. And he rushes his actors, and his actors aren't going to question him because they're getting paid by him. Um, and again, you don't hire writers, but you clearly need writers to go over um, continuity errors. Um, if something in a script doesn't make sense, just be a little humble. Be humble about your work. Or he needs to be humble about his work. He needs to be humble about actually bringing people on. Clearly, seeing he needs help. Um, because he directs, and produces everything. This isn't this isn't just like his movies. He writes, he does all his movies. He does his plays. He does his TV shows. Like that is a lot. That is quite a bit to do on your own. So I just think it would just make sense to bring in more writers, talented directors, and pay them to do, because you have the like Tyler Perry has the money to do it. So I'm not understanding why um, he doesn't do it, other than that he's just afraid that if he hires somebody in, they're going to challenge him creatively, because a lot of editing and stuff like that. Um, a lot of that type of editing, everything requires criticism, and I don't think that's something that Tyler Perry can handle. I've called Tyler Perry a Wattpad writer. He's a Wattpad writer because I run into a lot of people on Wattpad um, who you criticize their work and they take it as a personal attack because of their creativity, and it's not a personal attack on you. It's just like, this is good, but you can improve this, improve that. Not every writer is going to do things right on their first draft of a script, a book, anything. Things need editing. Things need to be looked over. Um, Otherwise, your fan base catches mistakes. I mean, this guy is getting, and this isn't just me saying all this stuff. Um, like his new movie, this guy's getting dragged through the mud on this is Black Twitter. This is his fan base. This is fan base that he's been catering to for a while, and now he's a laughing stock right now. Like people are dragging him on Twitter for a lot of the easy mistakes he could have caught during post production, and he just decided not to even bother going over it. And now they're, like I said, they're finding all sorts of mistakes. People, there's black people going on there rewatching the movie just to catch mistakes that he made in there. Like that's bad. That's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you keep thinking that your fan base is gonna carry you, and you keep making movies like Tyler Perry keeps making movies like these, and like his fan base is gonna abandon him. Because you take your fan base for granted. And again, like I said earlier, you think that your fan base is he believes his fan base is just gonna take whatever he is gonna buy whatever he's selling. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right at all. Um, but again, what do I know? It's my opinion on him. Um, that's what I had to say. This is a nice little 20-minute rant on Tyler Perry again. I don't I don't dislike the guy. I don't hate on his business. Um, I just I just wish I wish he would just listen to a. I know he turns a deaf ear to criticism because he doesn't even screen his movie. He doesn't even pre-screen his movies for critics anymore. He just doesn't even do it because he was tired of getting criticized. So I don't know. No, that's I'm just gonna leave it at that. Um, like I said, great businessman. I just again just creatively just no, just no. So I just felt I had to put this video up. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.